Now there is we've been using the word, maybe you didn't catch it, but I've been using the word adsorb, and maybe you didn't catch it. Don't use the word absorb. Absorb, a sponge kind of absorbs it. Even though I've used that as an illustration, that's not what's happening with charcoal. The charcoal is adsorbing it. So there's a physical process called chemsorption, or anyway, the toxic chemicals adhere to the surface of that charcoal, that huge surface area. They electrostatically adhere to it, and then once they adhere, they don't want to let go. Like I said, 600 to 800 degrees to cause it to let go. So that's what's happening. Adsorb is what's the mechanism. And so here's an illustration. You can absorb a pie, or you can adsorb a pie. One of the two. One's much more tasty than the other. So that's the mechanism that's going on with charcoal. The charcoal is never changed. It never changes its character. It doesn't matter how much toxins you load onto it, it will always be charcoal. It doesn't matter how many sins Jesus takes, he is never impure. He's always pure. His purity is not affected by our sins. He remains pure. And that's where I like that symbolism with charcoal, because charcoal is the universal antidote for poisons, but it's still charcoal. It never changes chemically. Go ahead. We shut off.
Okay. So we remember the three ingredients were charcoal, water, and flaxseed. And anyone is welcome. You guys can get up and move around if you need a little break, and you can come see the charcoal, like how fine it is.
You're welcome to come on up if you want to. If you can see where you are, go ahead.
Come spread out a poultice onto the paper towel. Come and just try it out. So Mason and I and Jack just mixed them up. So you're welcome to come and grab a poultice to take home tonight. You can even make these up ahead of time and keep them in the fridge for the week, or a freezer for a couple months or something, or longer.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can come look at how fine the powder is if you've never mixed, or grab a poultice. We can mix.
Also, if you are willing to make one or have one, thank you. If you're willing to make one or have one put on you, we will give you free one of those the green jars of powder. At the Mega Clinic, we gave out thousands of them. If people were willing to come up and help us. Okay, we have a helper.
I'm willing to help you.
Okay, yeah, so you can. Oh my, yes, we should put it on there. Were you here earlier? Oh, okay, yeah, let's put it on there. Yeah, so we're just going to put it on. What is it?
It's still working. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
What's your name?
Michael.
Michael, okay, so Michael here.
Not on the recording.
Not on the recording.
Just kidding.
Yeah, thank you for telling me so. Yes, forgot we were on the recording. So Michael has skin cancer right here that he's going to put it on. So it does look pretty angry. It looks inflamed. So.
Can we take a picture, please? Somebody.
Oh, yeah.
This is one thing everybody forgets. Take a picture.
I need my phone.
Got one already.
Yeah, Jack, that's great. All right, so.
Most people already have before pictures, but for your record, it's very encouraging to you to see what's happening. You can remind yourself, and then you'll have an opportunity to tell somebody or show somebody. I am going to show you some pictures of Carrie.
So it looks better.
Walt Cross has been helping me.
Oh, Walt Cross has been helping you, okay.
I've been using their light therapy too.
Can I see that once more?
You get it to the right consistency, right? Like you might have to add a little more flaxseed or something.
Oh, we need,
You can get it pre-ground at
let's see if we can get a brighter light on
I
that.
wouldn't ingest the pre-ground. No, I don't. But I would use it for this.
No flash. She has a picture. Did you get a flash?
Well, I didn't get a flash, but.
That's good. Send me that one.
Okay. So it is supposed to be like a 1-to-1. Yeah, and you keep it moist. So Yeah, so the flax and the charcoal is a one-to-one ratio. Like, so I use 2 tablespoons of flax, 2 tablespoons of charcoal, and then a quarter cup of water. Yeah.
Want to get rid of bruises?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Well, try it then.
yeah. How long you had it?
Oh, I get it all the time.
Uh-huh,
I get it all the time. I got it on both arms, actually.
yeah. Try it. You know, what are you going to harm? You need to try it. Yeah,
I'll try it.
but it's not going to happen once.
No, I'm sure.
You're going to have to,
But I know how to make what she's doing.
you know, set up a routine at a certain time of the day, maybe in the evening, put it on, wrap it up, go to bed with it, something like that. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
From Eliquest. That's what we figured out is from Eliquest. Because he has to take Eliquest
Okay.
for his
It's a
heart.
thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
But
So he's treading on water. Is what he's doing. The best blood thinner in the world is what? Water. Bar none. There is nothing that thins the blood better than water. Charcoal will take out some of these products.
yeah, can you just stop taking this stuff?
Well, people say no, you can't, but whether you taper yourself off or not, my wife would tell you, get my book tomorrow, read it, because I talk about blood thinners in there. And it's just, you can experiment and you will see for yourself. But in this case, where it will help, he's still adding to the problem. Right?
Yeah, so it's not going to go away ever. Probably. As long as he's taking that, it's not going to go away.
My wife had large brown marks all over her face. They're all gone. And she used charcoal soap and then taking it orally, like I mentioned, she takes it regularly.
I have a fresh poultice right here waiting for a volunteer.
Okay.
Oh, right here, come on. Got an ankle. Is that big?
Michael, did you get one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, I just get it over that section right there. Yep.
Did you get a jar?
No, I didn't get a picture.
Oh, I didn't get a jar.
We'll get it too. We don't have them right here. We'll get. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
What is it, do you know? Okay.
I have, it's like, I don't know what it is, if it's like a calcium deposit or what. It's like a hard white thing under my skin. And the last couple of days, I've been putting oil of oregano on it. And
Okay,
it does
yeah.
seem to take the pain away.
Yeah.
But do you think charcoal would pull it out? What is it? Have you ever had anything like that?
Well, I had.
Yeah.
Can you see this thing here?
Yeah.
It was much bigger and small and harder, and I had it for years and years and years. And I started putting charcoal poultice on just as an experiment, and it fell off. And it's been gone for about 2 years. Now it's starting to come back again.
So you got a little tattoo with it.
Well, no, this is it. It is coming back. Whatever it was is coming
Oh,
back.
it's coming back.
Yeah, but it was, like I said, it was gone for several years, and I wasn't really. I was just an experiment. Come on up. Come on up.
I guess it doesn't hurt to try.
Exactly. That's what my wife would tell you.
It'll be nicer to apply onto a person with one water.
Does it matter what you use to mix?
I'm a Brazilian. You said if I need a poultice, I would get one.
I suggest you use plastic. Yes.
I want the plastic.
So would I get one of these?
By,
Later.
oh, like an impurity? It may, but it's not gonna like
Because I'm
not pull out
impressed. This is
impurities.
the coconut, right? Which one is the coconut?
Yeah.
The blue one.
Yeah, so John, I have people have been questioning me on this. I tell them not to use metal in the activated charcoal. Are they able to use
You
metal?
mean mixing it? The mixing
Dip
container?
into your activated charcoal and dig it out and then mix with it?
I wouldn't make too
People
much
have
to do with
said
that.
Okay, so some people have said that it deactivates it, so.
No, that's
Okay,
not true at
not
all.
a true thing.
It's in a metal kiln for one thing. That's made inside of a metal kiln.
Okay. So, yeah, you don't have to be.
But something like this, I'd want something small, wouldn't I?
Yeah. So you just take a charcoal tablet, maybe put it in half, and you wet it, and you put it on a Band-Aid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know it.
You want to do it with
I'm glad I could see the heart.
You take your home, you want to apply it tonight.
you can see what happens when we let this happen.
That's good, they're learning.
So you know about charcoal.
Yeah, we make charcoal.
So what's the difference between the blue bottle and the green bottle?
The green is eastern hardwood, like this oak here, and the blue is coconut.
Oh, so one absorbs a little bit more?
No, they're just different. They're just slightly different products. It's more a marketing issue and explaining things. But when we first started our business, it was all we could get was the eastern hardwood,
Okay.
and then we had access to the coconut, which is more hospital grade.
Hospital grade, so it's finer powder?
It depends. There's some of these hardwoods
Or
are
is absorbing?
not necessarily.
Surface area?
No, not necessarily. It's just those have been USP certified for the pharmaceutical industry. They come from France. Of course, there's no coconut in France, so it's imported from probably Sri Lanka. Comes to France, it's processed a little bit differently.
So it costs more.
It costs more.
Yeah.
But if all I had, I'd use anything charcoal. If I was in, but I have to say the coconut one is sort of the Cadillac. It's smooth. The hardwood one has,
When you mix it in the water, it's going to be more harder to incorporate. It's going to be fluffier,
no, it mixes
not as gritty.
equally. The other one is super fine. The hardwood one is very fine, but not as fine. But it has a very high surface area. So we use that for different applications. It's all that industry that most people don't need to get bogged down in. The industry is very precise, and they want, these designer charcoals. Have we progressed beyond 3?
Beyond 3, I think we had 3.
Okay.
And plus the charcoal stick.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do the same thing.
Okay. I would like to invite you all back to your chairs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Or just fold it up. We can use it later.
What you can do, there's enough here to make a couple of poultices and give them away.
No, that's what I'm going to do. I'm
Okay.
going to continue mixing them.
Can you make charcoal out of these nuts that's hitting the building? All these acorns that's hitting the building, can we make charcoal out of them?
This oak,
Yeah, they're oak nuts.
the acorns,
Yeah.
probably. But they're not as. The hardwood's much preferable because in the process it's going to be very difficult to not have everything consumed up in the process. So using the hardwood is a more stable product to work with than acorns. But they use, I mentioned already, macadamia nuts.
I know she mentioned that.
So they'll use the macadamia shell, the nut shell, not the nut, the shell. And so in the case of acorns, you'd have to have an industry for the acorn seed, and then the leftover shell would be what they would carbonize to make a charcoal. Because
The Macedonian nut is very hard.
it's hard, and that's the part they're going to use is shell. Same way with the coconut shell. It's the leftover from all the cosmetic products that are used from coconut oil and foods. So coconut shell, waste product until somebody comes along and makes it into an industry. Same way it would have to be with the acorn shell, not what's inside of it. It just wouldn't work.
Do you suggest all the different kinds of charcoal, activated charcoal, which one would be better than the other, or does it matter?
Well, let me answer that question then. It's a good question.
Got a question too. Are you able to profit from the information you know about the future need for charcoal? In other words,
The business is booming. The supply chain is, because the business is booming, the supply chain is getting.
I mean, are you taking advantage of that knowledge? Are you hoarding?
No, we're not hoarding. There's no room for hoarding. It's going too fast. No. Where do I start here?
Hey, John, real quick, there's a question about tomorrow. Do you take cash or credit card?
I really don't want to get into that. We're going to work on that this evening, but yeah, it'll be cash, or we're going to try to figure out a way to use one of these readers. My wife is not here, and so Leanne or somebody's going to help us with this. But we'll figure out a way. We're not worried. If we have to write it down on a piece of paper and charge you later, we'll figure out something. Not a problem. So we were in central Uganda, well, close to the Congo border, and we were invited to come and speak at this local school. And we did not have activated charcoal. All we had was charcoal, the regular stuff. And there it's ubiquitous. People cook with it. So you'll see it along the roadways. Women are selling charcoal, and the dogs and the animals pee on it. And so it's not very clean. It's used for cooking, right? It's not necessary. So we took these charcoal and we taught the people how to wash it. If they can pick it up before it's been exposed to the environment for very long, as it's fresh out of their kilns, then that's ideal. But if not, we have to teach them, okay, so you wash it off in boiled water, you dry it, and then you pound it, you pulverize it, crush it, and you pass it through. They have two kinds of flour sifters, a coarse and a very, very fine, and you teach them to run it through the coarse one and then the fine one until you get as fine a powder as you possibly can get. And that's all we had. We did not have flax meal. We did not have a psyllium seed husk, but we did have cassava. And cassava is used to make what? Tapioca. You ever had tapioca pudding? Pudding.
Or tapioca flour.
Tapioca flour. So we were just using the tapioca flour as the thickening agent. And I asked, I had given a demonstration and I just said, it works very good for indigestion problems. And I said, do we have anybody out there that would like to come up and sample some charcoal water? And all these women immediately congregated around us, and there was only one man there, and and my wife is laughing because, how are we going to do this? We have one bottle of water, one bottle of water, and one cup and a spoon, and hygiene, tossed it out the window, and away we went. They're already complaining. It can't make the problem worse. So. One cup, one spoon, away we went. And Last Supper. So she would carefully rinse out that cup, and underneath the table was a big basin, and she would just empty that rinse water into the basin underneath the table, and then pour another drink. And somehow we got enough water for all these people and they just kept coming up till I finally said, okay, sit down. We're gonna have to figure up another solution to this. And the story goes on, but before I finish that story, this is in a prison in Uganda. I met this woman on the right. She invited us to her Methodist church in Idaho, I believe it was, and we put on a weekend program at her church, and they were missionaries to northern Uganda, and they were receiving the refugees coming back from the Idi Amin era, who were refugees in southern Sudan, and they were coming in and teaching them literacy classes. They were teaching them how to read and write by reading the Bible. These were Muslims. A lot of Muslims learned to read by reading the Bible, and in the process, they gave them health classes. And one of the health classes was what they learned from us on charcoal. They had found us online, and they were looking for something natural that could be used in their location. So they really gravitated to charcoal. And in the process, they were invited into a prison to teach literacy classes using the Bible, and they were giving them certificates when they finished. And one of the classes was an all-day class on how to use and prepare charcoal from the native charcoal that was available. And this man came up, I can't tell you where he was, they don't want us to do that. So he came up, and he had HIV/AIDS. And it's the number 2 cause of death there when we were there. So everybody wanted us to wear gloves and masks, and we did the glove thing for a while, and then we gave up on that. The exposure was so much. But this is pre-COVID, and they're using masks. And this guy has a lot more than HIV. He's really sick. And they didn't expect him to last very long at all in the prison. And they put on a class. They met the guy. She got him a jar of their own handmade charcoal, gave it to him, a quart jar, and overnight he started to improve. His eyes cleared up to pure white. Here they're still jaundiced, and the other inmates came up to him and said, "Can we have some of your charcoal?" What are you going to do? I know what I would have done. Well, it might have been over my dead body, because he was in prison. And that man shared his precious medicine with the men in that same situation. Isn't that just amazing? And he improved. And of course, then that gave him an opportunity to teach some other things. I don't think they had as complete a health message, but they were very much into health. She's a physiotherapist, and she taught them different things that they could do. So in one of the prisons, the whole prison was infected with dysentery, number 1 cause of death in that country. And there was 3 men in the men's bathroom. Now, how hygienic would it be in a men's bathroom in an African prison on the border of Congo? Would it be very sanitary? Can you imagine? I didn't even want to go in there to go to the bathroom. They're so bad. He's sold. And that's the miracle part. That's where God touches, you know. It's not just charcoal happening here. But he was willing to try. We were willing to try. And because we were all willing, God said, "I'm willing. You're going to try this my way. I'm willing to help." And he did help. And this is just the beginning of the story. I mean, now the second day, I looked at his wounds and I thought, well, they're looking better, but I know for a fact that when I leave, nobody's going to continue doing this. They're not going to pull this mess off every day. I got to come up with another idea. And I thought of Thaddeus back in Africa. I thought, okay, we're just going to sprinkle that wound with charcoal powder, and it's going to help to dry it up faster than the poultice, because it was just turning into mush. And I knew that nobody was going to want to do that. So we just covered his legs in charcoal powder, the same thing. And it pretty well took care of the odor. This is day 3, and we took off that poultice bandage. And I think on this one, we were all crowded into that little room there at that complex. And I can't remember if we made a poultice or I think we put more powder on him. Yeah. And then I said goodbye, and I thought, you know, who's going to follow up on this? And if there weren't 2 women there who had followed up we wouldn't be having this story. I seriously doubt that if they hadn't been willing to take this case on, Liz and Hermana, I don't know if we'd have this.
In fact, Hermana slept on the church floor for weeks, saying she's not going to leave until he's healed.
Yeah.
She's still working with him today.
Well, the story has gone much farther than Carrie now. So that was day 3. He's awake and he's game. I'm game. Now this is just the year before. Carrie's in the intensive care unit. He's bleeding from all his wounds. And he's in a tremendous amount of pain. They did artificial skin grafts, staples, and he'd had it. I don't want any more. And his wounds were quite amazing. You know, they wanted to cut them off. That's a year ago. This is today. In fact, that was Thursday. That's Thursday. Can you remember what it looked like? Up to his knees. Now he says it's actually shorter than that. It's somewhere down in here, and that's all new tissue. And he says it's only a thin band now in the front. There's some swat. The left leg was worse for whatever reason. The left leg was worse. I don't know. It seemed to be more swollen. He can't put it down. Oh, and he's a big guy, and he could only walk. He could walk like this.
Being in the wheelchair for so long.
That's it. Now he can stand up. But he can't put his foot. He can't put his left foot down. It's still.
Straighten his legs all the way yet. We're still
Yeah,
working on that.
but he has goals. There's so much to his story. It's just, it'll bring tears to you if I told you everything that's happened to him in 4 months. It's an amazing story. So there's Carrie 4 months ago up to his knees, and now it's just down at his ankles. And again, the power of charcoal. Maybe something else would have worked. Maybe cabbage leaves. I'm serious. Maybe cabbage leaves would have worked, but cabbage leaves after one day smell pretty bad. You know, they work, but have you ever smelled rotten cabbage? Oh, it's bad. Any questions? Yes.
So these poultices that you do, will they work for like breathing issues and lung issues? I have emphysema, COPD from smoking
Okay.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, would the charcoal, I mean, if I just slapped one on my back, would it draw out the toxin?
Yeah, I've done dozens and dozens of cessation programs over my lifetime, and especially one of the charcoal stop smoking program. You guys need to do a stop smoking program. You need to do a 5-day stop smoking program in the local community. That would be a tremendous outreach. Treatment of choice for me, and I was a smoker. For me, I know the number 1 treatment is water. I know that from so many, hundreds and hundreds of people that we've worked with, I know the number 1 treatment is water. I'm not trying to evade your question. Water and getting off of coffee. Are you a coffee drinker?
In the morning I drink.
Those are the 2 things you work on. I don't know how much you're smoking, but you're well on the road. You're more than halfway across the river. There is no sense to go back now. You're there. You're just that one Chicago football player. He was hooked to 1 cigarette a day, and he was so close. It only needed a few little ingredients. Drinking water, it seems like it's too simple. But one of the mechanisms that when you're leaving off drugs is that maybe you've heard about your blood is alkaline or it's acid. But research has shown that people who are getting off of, whether it's nicotine or fentanyl or anything else like that, if the food you're eating is acid ash or alkaline ash, depending on the diet, your body will slough the toxin quickly or slowly. Now you'd think I want to be off of tobacco, right? I'd like to get this over with quickly, so I'm going to take the diet that would get this nicotine out of my tissue as fast as possible. That's not how it works. You can get it out as fast as you want, but you're going to be left with the craving. And so what the researchers found is if people will take a plant-based diet, they'll end up with an acid ash, or they call it an acid ash diet or a plant-based diet, that the body detoxes more slowly. So you're not bringing any more of that toxin into the body, but the body will detox very slowly, and you have no withdrawal symptoms, because your blood level stays high enough with the nicotine coming out of the tissue. It's going into the blood. You're not experiencing any withdrawal symptoms. You feel you're not adding any more nicotine or fentanyl, but your body says, "Oh, I'm fine," because it's coming out of the tissue into the bloodstream. And so you're tapering off naturally. But if you take a alkaline ash diet, an animal-based diet, it causes the tissue to dump these poisons very, very quickly. And consequently, you end up having more withdrawal symptoms. I don't know how I don't understand all that chemistry, but these are these programs that we put on, these physicians were telling us this. Yeah.
So charcoal has no role?
So back to charcoal, yes. I did these 5-day programs long before I knew about charcoal. Well, I knew about it, but I never thought about implementing it. But depending on the addiction, charcoal is a great way of mitigating some of the withdrawal symptoms, for sure. As for putting it on your, if once you make that last step, give your body time. Probably within a year you'll clear up. You said COPD? And emphysema. You think we're amazed seeing Carrie? You will be even more amazed how your body will clean up. It's so dramatic. You can't see it right now because that's where you're sitting, but you will be surprised. 1 year, less than 1 year.
I'll reinforce that water also helped me with my asthma. I've had asthma.
Oh yeah.
10 years ago, I started taking 2 quarts of water when I jump out of bed.
There you go.
It just went away.
So again, we don't want to place all the emphasis. Are you have to take off?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow then.
We'll see me tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll Carrie too.
Yeah.
Make him bring
Okay.
James and
Tell him we missed him, and if he can make it, we'll look forward to seeing
I'll
him.
talk with you this evening.
Okay. Good night. So, again, Becky, you've been learning a lot of things. You're a lot farther across the river. No sense going back now. And water, caffeine, plant-based foods. There's a lot of other tricks that people use in these programs, and I'm not depreciating them, but we have placed charcoal poultices on people with pericarditis. Did I pronounce that correctly? We put it on their chest, and in the morning there's this green gunk. Just like that poultice over the kidneys, there's this green gunk. Now, I can't explain the physics of that, but nevertheless, decongest these lungs that have been, oh, by the way, what does ITIS mean? What? Okay, so when you see a word that ends in ITIS, it means what? Inflammation. So what about pericarditis? It's inflammation of the sac around the heart. Or you have cellulitis. And so that's an infection of this, a layer right underneath the skin becomes inflamed. Or you have appendicitis, or arthritis, or any other number of macular degenerative diseases that end in itis. They all respond to charcoal amazingly well. 3 guys laying on the floor and they were going to be dead within 2 days. The guard said, we've seen this over and over again, they'll be dead, 2 days. The guy here with the stick was one of those 3 guys 2 days before. And they gave him charcoal and he recovered almost overnight. He's extremely weak, and he's got all these men. 80%, 90% of the prison was infected with this dysentery. The guards were infected, and the warden was infected. They all had it in 1 week. No dysentery. 1 week. Now, I was lecturing in another hospital at the southern end of Uganda. I was at a hospital talking, and I'm standing there. This is how it affects you. I was standing there perfectly symptom-free. I felt fine. I was talking to all these students, and it hit me just like that. I said, somebody get me out of here. And somebody run up to the front, and I said to the doctor, take over. And he's looking at me like, what's going on? I said, I'm out of here. And I got to, thank God, I got to a toilet with 1 or 2 seconds to spare. And after I spent some time cleaning myself back up and went back on the floor and finished my lecture. Talk about humbling. A very humbling experience. And you realize that these people are suffering with this on a regular basis. And it hit like that. I had no warning at all. Wow. So you can see why it's so prevalent and it's such a concern. This couple, man and woman, after helping this prison, they were given the ceremonial keys to every prison in Africa to come in and teach literacy by teaching the Bible and giving charcoal remedies. Isn't that amazing? That's from one similar program like this, way up in a Methodist church. We have no idea where this information can go from here this afternoon. So watching him pound charcoal, what is he doing? And they have something better than Facebook down there. They have Facebook, but they have something better than Facebook. Each one of these men will go back to their village, right? And they will teach every one of their villages how to do this. Okay, moving ahead. I've already talked about poison ivy. Where are we? Oh yeah, back to that school. This woman has an abscess on her cheek. She's had it for a long time. Very painful. It will not come to the surface. It's just sitting there, and she's running a fever, and very, very uncomfortable. So Kimberly just made up charcoal paste, and she put it on her. Good chance that this woman is HIV positive. But the people did not like us wearing gloves. It became very clear they did not want us to wear gloves. They did not want us to be wearing gloves. Just, you know, because we don't have gloves. They don't have gloves. And, you know, it's sort of that, you know, when a minister has to take Prozac to kickstart his prayers in the morning, something's wrong, you know, and so it's just, I think it's that same unconscious thing that Jesus laid his hands on, but he didn't have gloves on, right? And did they have leprosy? Was it contagious? And so they were dealing with these things. You cannot go in a hospital and not use gloves. It would kick you out, right? Some of these gloves only have a 4-hour window before the pathogens will cross over, and they have to toss their gloves after 4 hours. That's the only time that they're allowed to use them. So I don't know. I didn't use it. Kimberly finally stopped using them, and but we're very, very conscious. You know, HIV was very prevalent there. she put on a patch, and there it is, and the woman went away very happy. This man, I had seen him come in, and he was holding his hand like this, and he went to the back of this area and sat down, and I thought, I wonder what's wrong with him. And we'd asked the women to come up, if any of the women wanted to come up for a drink, but the men were very reluctant to get up. Isn't that so typical? Finally, I looked at that man, and he was in pain, and I just said to him, "Come on up." And he finally came up, holding his hand, and then he opened his hand, and he'd hit that with a sledgehammer and a rock. Heard the expression, between a sledgehammer and a rock? It hurt, and it was not recovering, and they've tried everything to take down the inflammation, every kind of antibiotic, pain meds. This is out in the Congo. They still had hospitals there, and he's put on some local pulp to help dry the wound from the weeping. So he can't sleep. The pastor is kind of skeptical. We're soaking it. Remember that basin of water underneath? We've been putting that charcoal. We pulled it out on the table. My wife, I was looking at it. My wife says, "Well, put his hand in it." It's like, okay, they're slow learners, right? So I put his hand in it, and the pastor's like, "Are you kidding me?" And here is can you see his expression? I think it's off the camera, but he's barely got his eyes open. He's in so much pain. He hasn't slept for weeks. And the pastor's like, "This isn't going to work." But just by washing, we cleaned off the wound, so we're down to some flesh. And I'm ready to send him on his way. My wife says, no. Put his hand back in the water. So we put his hand back in the water, pain disappeared. While we're talking, pain gone. And it was hot. It was very hot. Humid, sticky on the Congo border. And we just kept talking and talking. And we finally talked into the dark. And he pulled his finger out. And you really can't appreciate it, but the inflammation's gone. Inside of an hour, it's gone. And I don't want to exaggerate, but it almost like there was new tissue. But what we have found, I've said it before, that the infection will usually stop within 2 hours. The healing will take longer, but the progression of the infection usually stops very quickly. So I was ready to give him a poultice and send him home. My wife says, "No, make him a poultice and put it on him." So I made a poultice, put it on him, and she made up a poultice for him to take home with him. And we gave him a few supplies, and on he went. This is him the next day. Look at the expression on his face. He slept. The pain, the poison of inflammation was overcome. The patient slept, and the healing went on naturally. This is 24 hours. He's been to the marketplace in town and told everybody to come to the program. So we didn't have any. I said, "I don't want you to go moving your finger around," so I just used his second finger as a splint, and I just wrapped the two together to help him to hold it from flexing too much. He followed my directions perfectly, and he's giving his testimony. Now, before he left the night before, I didn't know. I just said, "Do you mind?" I said, "Do you mind?" And he said, "Yes." So I had a prayer with him, and he's Muslim. This is a Muslim man. He went to the market and told everybody, "Come on down." You know, it's exciting, but it's equally exciting here, and I wish Carrie was here. But again, we'll hope you'll make it tomorrow. I'm gonna jump way ahead. To another program. I made this one up last night, in fact. I put it together kind of rapidly, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. But again, the disciples had no previous experience in healing, right? They were novices, to say the least. And he wants them to learn what? The ministry of healing. They had no faith, and he said, no faith. But then he sends them out later after 3.5 years, and he says, gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sicknesses. Isn't that where Jesus started out? And now this is the disciples. They're ready to do the same thing. Freely you receive, freely give. And they were walking and leaping and praising God.